There is a silent epidemic happening every single night in bedrooms all across the world. It's a hidden killer that attacks you when you're most vulnerable, targeting your brain, your memory, and your future. Now, we're not talking about some rare disease here. We're talking about a process that affects the vast majority of adults, and it begins the very moment you fall asleep. Here's a staggering fact. Over 60% of adults over the age of 50 are quite literally suffocating their brains every night. They are systematically starving their most vital organ of the oxygen it needs to survive and thrive. And the most terrifying part? They are completely unaware that it's even happening. So I want you to really consider this. That brain fog you wake up with, the trouble concentrating, that feeling that your memory is fading. What if it has nothing to do with just getting older? What if it's the direct result of a nightly battle for oxygen that your brain is losing over and over again? To really understand what's going on, we have to look at the science of the attack. It's a biological state called micro-hypoxia. And this isn't a gentle process. It is a relentless, low-grade assault on your brain's very architecture that can go on for hours at a time. And the trigger is shockingly simple. It's breathing through your mouth while you sleep. That one simple act bypasses your body's most essential systems for oxygen delivery. The result is a chronic oxygen deficit that throws your entire nervous system into a low-level state of panic, a fight-or-flight response, spiking stress hormones, right when you're supposed to be in your deepest, most restorative rest. And the difference here is just, it's night and day. On one side, you have proper restorative nasal breathing. That leads to deep rest, memory consolidation, and even the growth of new neurons. But on the other side, you have the stress state caused by mouth breathing. That means cortisol spikes and the actual destruction of the very brain cells you might have worked to build during the day. It completely negates any positive effort you're making for your brain. But here's the thing. Our bodies were designed with a defense mechanism. There's an incredible biological process that's supposed to protect and restore the brain every single night. And understanding this, well, it changes everything we know about brain health. It's your brain's own deep clean cycle. This system is called the Glymphatic System. And I want you to think of it, quite literally, as a high-pressure power washing service for your brain. Its only job is to use cerebrospinal fluid to flush out all the metabolic junk and toxic proteins that build up in your brain while you're awake. This isn't just simple housekeeping, this is absolutely critical for your cognitive survival. The whole process kicks off with a really remarkable transformation. As you get into your deepest phases of sleep, your brain cells actually physically shrink. They contract by as much as 20%. And this is a very deliberate and necessary first step. You see, that shrinkage opens up all these little channels and pathways throughout your brain. This new space allows that cleansing cerebrospinal fluid to just rush in, flooding every single crevice of your neural tissue, getting to places it just can't reach when you're awake. And here's the critical payoff of that whole process. The fluid washes away all these dangerous metabolic byproducts and, most importantly, these toxic proteins called amyloid-beta plaques. These are the exact proteins that are directly linked to the development of Alzheimer's disease. Your brain is designed to clear them out every single night. But, and this is the most important part of this whole story, this life-saving brain-cleaning system has a non-negotiable requirement. It only turns on during periods of unbroken, oxygen-rich, deep sleep. So if you're mouth breathing, your oxygen levels drop, your sleep is shallow, and that means the glymphatic system stays offline. The power washer never even turns on. And all those toxins, they're just left there to build up night after night after night. Okay, so understanding the problem is the first major step. Now we have to move to the solution. The good news is there is a very precise, actionable protocol you can use to restore your oxygen levels at night and force this brain detox system back online. This protocol has 3 distinct steps. Each one targets a different biological trigger to make sure you get that deep, restorative, oxygen-rich sleep. Let's break down exactly what you need to do. All right, step 1 is micropore mouth taping. Now, here's how it works on a cellular level. It forces you to breathe through your nose, which dramatically boosts your body's production of something called nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is a powerful vasodilator, which is just a fancy way of saying it widens your blood vessels, maximizing oxygen delivery to every single cell in your brain. And the application couldn't be simpler. Just a small piece of porous surgical tape applied vertically over the center of your lips right before you go to sleep. Step 2 is what we call the thermal drop. The key biological trigger for getting into that super deep delta wave sleep is a rapid drop in your core body temperature. So to apply this tonight, you'll want to set your bedroom to a cool 65 degrees Fahrenheit, that's 18 Celsius. Then take a warm shower about an hour before bed. As your body quickly cools down after that shower, it sends a powerful signal to your brain, basically pulling you into that deep sleep that's required to turn on the glymphatic system. And finally, step 3, lateral sleep posture. Research has actually shown that sleeping on your side, specifically your right side, works with gravity to optimize the physical drainage pathways for this whole cleaning system. It just makes the process of flushing out toxins more efficient. To do this, simply use a firm body pillow to keep yourself from rolling onto your back, which helps lock you into the perfect position for maximum brain cleaning. So following this protocol gives you the power to protect your brain while you're asleep. But protecting your brain health is a 24-hour mission. And there is another critical threat that you absolutely need to be aware of. Think about it. You now have the tools to make sure your brain is cleaned and repaired every single night. But all of that progress can be undone in an instant. What if you're sabotaging this entire process within minutes of opening your eyes in the morning? And that leads us to the final critical question. What popular so-called healthy morning habit is actually spiking your blood sugar, triggering a massive wave of inflammation, and immediately coating your newly cleaned brain in a toxic fog? We're going to expose that in our next explainer.